way that you can separate different Python environments for different projects. So why would you want to do something like this? For example, say that you have multiple projects and they all rely on a single package. Say it's Flask or Django or something like that. Each one of these projects may be using a different version of Django or a different version of Flask. Now, if you go and upgrade that package and your global sites packages, then it could break a couple of your websites. That might not be what you want to do. It would be better if each of those projects had an isolated environment where they had only the dependencies and the packages that they need and the specific versions that they needed. And that's what virtualenv allows us to do. It allows us to make those different Python environments. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll kind of show you how this works. Now, I already have virtualenv installed on my machine. If you don't have it installed on your machine, just do a pip install virtualenv. Now, the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a pip list, and you can see in my global site packages I have all these different packages all at a specific version. Now let's use virtualenv to make a few different Python environments. First, I like to make a directory that is called environments to keep all these in one place. And I'll go ahead and cd to that directory. Now if I do an ls here, you can see that this directory is currently empty. So to make our first virtual environment, let's just type in virtualenv, and I'm just going to call this one project1_env. Hit enter. And you can see what this said here is that it went ahead and installed setup tools and pip for you. So as soon as you go into that environment, then you can use those to start installing packages. So in order to activate this this new Python environment, all you have to do is type in source and then the name of the environment. We chose project1_env. Then go into bin and then activate. Hit enter. And now we're in our new Python environment. The way that you can tell this is it will now add this to your prompt. Even when I clear out my prompt, it still says project1env here at the top. And that's one indicator that we are currently in that environment. We can also type in which Python, and if we type in which Python, you can see that the path to the Python that we're using is within our environments and project1env/bin/python. I can do the same thing with pip, and you can see that the pip that we're using is inside of our project1 environment. So now if I do a pip list here, then you can see we only have pip and setup tools. We don't have all those global site packages that were listed earlier whenever we were outside of this environment. So let's go ahead and install a few packages into this new Python environment. So there we have NumPy installed, and now I'll go ahead and install PyTZ. And let me install one more just so that we have a few packages to work with. I'll do psutil. So now let's go ahead and do a pip list, and you can see all the packages that we just installed in this environment. Now let's say I wanted to export all these packages and their version numbers to use in another project. With that, I can just do pip freeze, and let's do this tac local here. And what this does is you can also use your global site packages within a virtual Python environment. We didn't choose to do that, but if we had, then we would have all those global site packages available to us. If you do a get freeze local, then what that does is it takes only the local dependencies that you had in your Python environment. Now let's go ahead and output this to a requirements.txt file. And let me do an ls to make sure we got that. If we do a cat on the requirements file, you can see that we have all of our packages and version numbers there. And now say that you wanted to get out of your Python environment. You want to go back to being in the global environment. All you have to do to get out of your virtual environment is to type in deactivate. And now you can see that our prompt no longer shows up. If I type in which Python, then this is the Python that I'm using in my global environment. Also, if I do a pip list, then you can see that it goes back to all my global site packages. So now you can see if I do an ls here, we still have this project 1 environment. What if I wanted to get rid of that altogether? I just wanted to play around in a Python environment for a little while to test something out, and now I want to get type it. Well, we already deactivated it, and after you deactivate it, all you have to do is delete it. So I can just do an rmrf, type in project 1 environment there. If I do an ls, then it's gone. And that's it. That's all it takes to get rid of a virtual environment. So now we still have this requirements.txt file here. Let's go ahead and make another virtual environment. But instead of just typing in the project name here, let's do a tat-p. And what we can do here is we can specify a specific version of Python to use. So let's do user bin, and I'll do Python 2.6. Oh, and it looks like I did that path wrong. Let me go back here and put that in, and that should do it. Oh, sorry about that. And that time I forgot to do the project name. So anyways, yeah, we can specify the version of Python that we want to use, and now I have to put in a project name here. So I'll just call this py26_env. So now if I do an ls, you can see that we have our py26_env, and just like before, we can do source and the name of our environment, bin, and activate. And now you can see that our prompt has changed, and we have this py26_env up here in parentheses. If I do which Python, then you can see that we are currently in this Python environment. If I do a Python -- version, then now you can see that we are in fact using this Python 2.6.9. So with that requirements.txt file that we had earlier, if we want to install those packages within this virtual environment, we can just do a pip install -r, then requirements.txt, and it should go out and grab all of those for us. And now you can see if I do a pip list after those are installed, then you can see that we have all of our packages here and all of the correct versions. So at this point you could begin working on your project in whatever environment that you want, and as soon as you are done working on that project or you want to switch projects, you can just go to deactivate, and now you can see that our prompt has disappeared and we're back using our global installation of Python and all of our global packages. I do want to point one thing out that I probably should have pointed out earlier. If I do an ls here, our py26_env, what these virtual environments, they're meant to be environments for your dependencies and your packages and things like that for your project, but they're not actually for your project files. You wouldn't want to go in and start building your project files within your virtual environment, because you want to be able to pass these along and throw them away whenever you want. So you don't want to have all of your project files in these virtual environments. They're really just intended to separate out the packages, dependencies, and the versions that you're going to use from project to project. So with that said, that pretty much touches on the basics of virtual environments in Python. If you have any questions or if I left anything out, feel free to ask in the comments section below.